I didn't really have a vision of what N would be as a graphic, downloadable version of my story. And N is kind of, I'd have to say, the birth of a nation of this particular medium, and it does something that is a hybrid. You can't really describe it until you've seen it. It is a sort of visual comic book, but it also has elements of a short film, so that it's very much its own thing. There's a dreamlike quality to this sort of medium that not even ordinary film can capture with all this CGI and stuff. So it's a terrific thing. I wrote in the summer of 2007, and the real impetus to write the story was Arthur Machen's The Great God Pan. He articulates something in that story that I've thought for a long time, which is that reality is very thin, and there's a terrible, horrible cosmos, and the only division between it and us is this scrim that we call reality. That's the thing about existence as we understand it. We don't really know anything, but there are a lot of suggestions that there might be more to it than we think. One of the things that I was thinking about was there's a field near where I live in the summertime, and I happened to go by there one night, and the sun was going down, and it was red, and I thought to myself, all of this looks like cloth stretched across a window. Then there's something behind it that you can't quite see. Everything seems to suggest that. Now, there were no rocks in the field. That was a little creation of my imagination.
I snapped some pictures, 5, a bad number, but I didn't know that yet. I stood back wanting to get all 7 stones in one picture, but when I framed the shot, I saw that there were really 8. 7 by the naked eye, 8 through the lens.
So I thought, well, let me try to wed the ancient and the modern, if you will. Let me take the Lovecraft monsters and put them together with something like obsessive-compulsive disorder, which I suffer from to a degree. Another thing that played into the story was the idea that psychiatrists have a high suicide rate, which suggests to me that psychiatrists in particular, and maybe the rest of society in general, are able to catch certain neuroses or psychoses the way that you catch a cold germ.
Do you count things?
Of course I do. The number of clues in the New York Times crossword puzzle, my own footsteps, number of rings when I call someone, other people's footsteps, their shoes, black shoes on the way to lunch, brown on the way back. 30's a good number. 15 pair, most days not a problem. 30 is purty, my little rhyme. 15 is keen.
When the idea came to me, I said, let's get Marvel involved and get their artists involved if they want to be. And I think that as a promotional tool, I guess, for the book, it was genius, because after all, this is going to be in a book called Just After Sunset, and it is a collection of short stories. My one contribution to the business side of it was saying, well, if you're going to do this thing, why not put all the episodes together on a DVD and sell an edition of the book with the DVD in it? And I'm excited about that, because from my own standpoint, if I had a choice, I'd immediately buy the DVD version. So I'm curious to see how that edition will do.